In these 9 boxes, housed in a storage room across the street from the Lake County office of the prosecutor, is the history of the Jeffrey Lundgren case, aka the Kirtland Cult killing murder, in which the 5 Averys were killed on April 17, 1989, their bodies discovered on January 4, 1990. It is the worst mass murder in the history of Lake County. In these 9 boxes are contained documents from the trials, also pieces of evidence including this drawing from one of the 3 Avery girls who was killed, Karen Avery, who was 7 at the time of her murder, sending a note to one of her friends, Kate. The story is one of law and order and justice served. You've handled capital cases before. I'm trying to give the Avery murder case context. Is it the most horrifying capital murder case we've had because 5 people were involved at one time? Were there circumstances about it that make it still such a part of public consciousness?
But picture this. I'm going to try to answer your question with trying to paint a picture, if I can. You take a family, a mother, a father in good health, young, relatively young, 3 young children who are healthy, enjoy life, who got involved with Lundgren, who gave them their money but decided they wanted to pull out. And because he couldn't control them, because he couldn't take their money anymore, because they were wanting to leave, he had a party for them. Here they are, happy, singing, playing games, these 3 children, along with their parents, and they take them one by one to a barn. He takes a .45 caliber pistol. While they're watching them, while the kids are screaming in terror, while they're bound, he shoots them in the head. It doesn't get more horrific than that, unless you're Hitler or Stalin and killed millions. I had met Lundgren before. I didn't know who he was. I didn't even know his name. But he was a person that what he thought mattered over what was right, what was decent. And as long as he thought it should occur, then it was right and decent in his mind. And I call that when a person has no respect for other human beings and they can a mass murderer, I call that consummate evil. And people, this planning to take over the church and murder the church leadership. People just don't sit down and say, okay, I want to kill people and take over something. To kill the Avery family because, as I'm told, they were starting to want to pull out and leave his society, and he wanted to make an example of them. And so this isn't something that somebody snapped like that. Murder was in his mind for a long time.
Alice, his son, they're co-defendants and cohorts. Would you classify those as lesser kinds of evils, or do you place them in the same category?
Obviously it's lesser. With Damon Lundgren, the son, that's a much more complicated issue. When you have your father, fathers have a lot of influence over people, and so when you have your father doing this, there's influence that can be asserted that I think the jury took into account because they didn't give Damon Lundgren the death penalty. So he did not receive the death penalty, and I suspect the petit jury took that into account. It's my guess. Alice, again, went along with him. All kinds of, I'm sure you've read some of the stories, and if you read the transcripts of what took place, that there were pressures that were put on her. So yeah, it is certainly a lesser evil. Do I think the 2 of them would have been involved in mass murder if it hadn't been for him? No, they probably wouldn't have been. Quite frankly, I guess I feel they all should have served the maximum term. Now, having said that, there is some exception to that. Some of them turned state's evidence. Now, for those that help the prosecution, because sometimes, quite frankly, you have to make a deal with the devil. Sometimes the only way you can win a case is to say, okay, we're going to find somebody involved who knows what went on, but they're less culpable than the main participants. And so you take those people and you make a deal with them, and that's what was done. And then you say, okay, you're going to get some benefit. You're going to testify, you're going to turn state's evidence, so we can get the Jeffrey Lundgren, so we can get the main people. And those people should have gotten the benefit of maybe an earlier release. So it depends upon who you're talking to. We can't lump them all together. So.